A rite of passage is a ceremonial event that exists in almost every known historical society that marks the passage from one social or religious status to another. Many are connected to biological events like life and death, and many of them typically have a gendered aspect to it as well. So, in Judaism, for example, a bar and bat mitzvah symbolizes the transition to adulthood. And these ceremonies and presents are marked and gendered. For example, my brother got lots of books when he had a bar mitzvah, and I got lots of jewelry. So, in what follows, we have asked different men and women to tell us about a life cycle ritual in their tradition. We asked the following questions.
So our families celebrate different rites of passage, often through the traditional Jewish means. So after a person's born, they'll 8 days later, if it's a boy, they'll have a brit milah or a circumcision. And often if when they reach the age of 12 or 13, they'll have a bar or bat mitzvah, which is sort of becomes a huge celebration.
So in the Catholic tradition, we have three ritual passage, which is baptism, the first communion, and confirmation. But most of the people are baptized as very little babies, so they don't remember it. There is no willingness in it, it's a tradition. So the confirmation gives you the opportunity to acknowledge the responsibility of your faith.
My family in particular didn't really do much, actually. And I think that's probably coming from a more kind of Islamic tradition. Like, when a woman, for example, reaches puberty, it's not really something that you celebrate or you do a party for or you have a big gathering about. It's more private information. You're not really supposed to share those things.
So my family celebrates rites of passage or big events like weddings and what we call confirmation when you're 14. I think mainly as a big feast and a church service that is connected to that. So in the morning, usually you would go to church. There's a lot of people there. There's a lot of family and friends. I'm from the New Apostolic Church. That's where I grew up. In the afternoon, then we would often invite people actually to our home. So there would be a lot of kind of cooking at home and a lot of music that is being made as well. Often myself or friends actually make the band and we play rock music and cover and so on. There's a lot of food and drinks, and at the end of the evening, there's a lot of dancing as well.
So rites of passage for my family have been traditionally oriented, I would say, around meals and food. Food is a huge thing, and not only eating, but also feeding others. So I would say they're very kind of communal affairs, really kind of structured around the impulse to share food. When a child or a teen first completes the Quran, so when they've read the Quran in full, then there is some form of celebration.
The best present that I received at my passage ritual, my bar mitzvah, was probably my tefillin phylacteries. I often think maybe they're the best one because I use them every day still. I think sort of you can judge a gift by how much you use it. And because they're made of leather, they were quite hard to put on at first, whereas now they're all worn through their use every single day, which I think is quite fantastic.
I got a present from my godmother, and it was a golden medal and with a picture of the Mother Mary, the child. It was very, very nice, very cute.
No present. Mm-mm. No, I mean, really, it's now that you're making me think about it, actually, like how ordinary the situation was.
In my tradition, I would say it is the day where one, for the first time, really takes responsibility for a significant amount of money, actually. One really has to make a significant step towards financial independence and responsibility.
One rite of passage, especially for girls in conservative evangelicalism, is to receive a purity ring, which is often given to you by your father and or your father and mother together. They present the ring to you when you're about 12 or 13 years old. I received mine when I was graduating from middle school. They explain to you that this ring marks your promise with God and your future husband, and you're meant to wear it on your ring finger until you get married, and then that ring is transferred off and your wedding ring takes its place.